Hi guys, it's Tara and welcome back to Crafting with Curlycues. Today I'm going to share a really fun set of cards that I created using some amazing Create a Smile stamp sets and my Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers. So first I stamped out all of the different critters that are in the Lovely Critters stamp set from Create a Smile, and this is a stamp set that came out around Valentine's Day. So as I'm sure you've noticed, every single little critter has a heart in it somewhere, which I think is so cute. And they are so well designed, like they're just adorable. And I've had them since about Valentine's Day, and I haven't really gotten to use them. And so I decided to bust them out and play along with the current challenge going on for Create a Smile this month, which was a sketch challenge. So that's kind of where my inspiration is coming from. So I stamped all of these little critters with some VersaFine Black Onyx pigment ink on some smooth white Bristol cardstock. And then as you can see, I'm using my Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers to color them in. So I'm going to have the specific colors that I used for each animal listed over at my blog. So I'm showing them super briefly here because I had to speed this up like way up to get it all in the video. And you can't really see exactly which colors I'm using. So over on my blog post, I'm going to list which colors I used for each animal, so you can check that out over there. Excuse me, allergies are kicking in and I keep feeling like I'm gonna sneeze. Gosh, that seems to happen to me anytime I'm recording. Maybe it's some sort of subconscious like nervous tick for like recording voiceovers, is that I get sneezy. I don't know. So as you've noticed, I've got my Wink of Stella there that I have been doing some blending with. That is not like a brand new Wink of Stella. This is actually a Wink of Stella clear glitter brush pen that has run out. And what I did is I went and filled it back up with just plain water. So it's out of the solution that it comes with, and I just put some water in it. And then I'm just using it as a water brush. So as you can see, it's still got some shimmer left. It's not nearly as shimmery as a new one, but there is definitely some shimmer in there because a lot of it settles. So if you put some water in after they run out and then like shake it up, you're going to end up with a little bit of shimmer left over there. And so I'm just kind of using it as a water brush, and then it's got the added bonus of putting some fun shimmer onto the paper as well. So all of my little critters have a whole bunch of shimmer on them. You can't really tell in the video, but in real life these puppies are quite shiny, which adds a fun little extra element to everything. So I don't often use my zigs with water. I just like to blend them with each other. But I, for these little critters, decided to go ahead and create almost a third kind of tone using that water, so that I'm leaving some spots completely uncolored and then just kind of pulling that water out along with them. And I thought that created just kind of a fun little effect there. So it took me, you can see all around the perimeter of my paper here, I've got some sample scribbles where I'm taking the different colors of Zig markers and trying to figure out which colors I want to use for which sections of the animals. And that was just kind of how I decided to test them for this particular project. So anyway, so this little bird here is kind of funny, I have to tell you guys. So my kiddo was in the craft room with me when I was making these, and I was going to color this like a penguin. Like I was all set to color him kind of some fun like ice blue colors, and my kiddo's like, "Why are you taking out blues to color the chicken?" And I was like, "Oh, it's a chicken?" Like, I don't know why, I just really thought that this was a penguin. And then when she explained it to me, she's like, "Yeah, don't you see that little thing on his head? That makes him a chicken." And I was like, "Oh, okay then." And so then I had to color him like a chicken, and I had to figure out what colors you color a chicken. So I actually had to then Google like cartoon chicken and figure out, and it still wasn't quite, a lot of them are white and I didn't want it to be white. So I went with this. I think it's cute. It's kind of it's a special breed of chicken that is yellow with a red jobber on his head. I don't know. It's all about the fun, right? It doesn't really matter. But I just thought it was funny that I didn't even question that I knew it was a penguin, and she was just like, didn't even question that she knew it was a chicken. And I was like, "Oh, well, I guess it works really either way." And I ended up making it a chicken. And you can see I stamped that one twice. This Bristol Smooth cardstock is legitimately smooth, and if you're not careful, when you stamp your image, it will slide on the cardstock. So that first little chicken there that I didn't color slid around a little bit, and I kind of got a blurry image. So I went with the second one, but that's why you see two penguin chickens on my paper here. So for the snail, I had a lot of fun coloring the little snail. I decided to make it bright purple. I couldn't decide what color to do it. Again, I was debating with my kiddo about like what color are snails. She's kind of an animal freak. Like she loves animals. She wants to be a veterinarian when she grows up, and she really likes like animal trivia books and stuff. So she'll sit and read. Like she has National Geographic Kids subscription and stuff, and she'll sit and read that kind of thing like all day long. So she's always spouting off like random animal trivia. Like it's like you'll be, I don't know, you'll see some random bird in the neighborhood or something and she'll be like, that's a blah 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 and it flies with the velocity. It's crazy like what she knows about animals. So I was asking her about the snail. I'm like, what color are snails? Like what am I supposed to color this guy? And she was naming all these like really like brown, and I was like, meh, I'm gonna make a purple snail. She's like, they're not really purple. And I'm like, that's fine. It can be purple. So now that all my coloring is done, I'm going to use my black Sakura Glaze Jelly Roll pen and just go over the little eyes and like the snout of the lion and go over and make sure that it's nice and shiny and they really pop. And then I'm going to add some white dot detail to the cheeks and then put some highlights on all the animals, and that just, I think, gives them a little bit of a more whimsical, cartoonish look, and I just think that it's super cute and it just adds that little extra detail that takes your cards up into the really special level. So I did a whole bunch of prep work before I got started with these. So I'm making 5 cards at once. So that's why I have all these die cuts. So I cut some using the My Favorite Things pierced square dies. I cut some of the second to the largest square, and then I ran one of them through with some embossing folders, and you can see each animal gets a different kind of embossed folder design in the background. And then I ran another set through with, this one is like a stitched hillside border, but most of them are just grass because I'm creating little scenes. And then I also used some Paper Smooches dies to create little tiny clouds that I'm going to use. So now I'm going to do a whole bunch of inking for all of the different scenes. So this one is going to be for the little sea turtle. So it's the only one that's different. Everything else gets grass, but the sea turtle had to have an ocean with some sand. So I used Blueprint Sketch and Peacock Feathers for the water, and then I used some, I want to say, Vintage Photo and Walnut Stain for the sand, but I could be wrong. Again, all of this will be listed over at my blog, so if you really want to see the specific colors, you can check that out over there. And then once everything is colored for each scene, I went ahead and spritzed it with some just my distress sprayer, and then wiped it off with a paper towel to get some really fun splatter looks. So I was playing around with the concept of maybe doing 2 layers of grass in each scene, and I just decided that was going to be too much. Like I was already doing a lot of work by going in and creating multiples of this card, so I was like, you know what? Never mind. They get 1 layer of grass. It's just how it's got to be. So for all of the skies, I'm going to do the exact same combo of Salty Ocean with some tumbled glass, and I'm going to start with the Salty Ocean and blend that around the bottom, and then go ahead and blend it out with the tumbled glass so that it's kind of a gradient look. And for those of you that don't know, I do have my Ranger nonstick craft mat, and that is adhered to a clipboard. So I get comments and questions about this on occasion, so I thought I'd just share since I have a moment here. I just cut it down to fit, and I wrapped my clipboard like a present, and I just used my ATG gun to go ahead and adhere that right on there. And for me, that just works really well because it's nice and portable. I can take it out when I need it and put it away when I don't, and it's just nice and easy to handle instead of rolling up the mat. So that's what I like to do with my nonstick craft mat. So most of the grass is Twisted Citron with some edges of Mowed Lawn to make it a little bit darker. And then for the lion, I started with Mowed Lawn, and then I came in with Forest Moss because, I don't know, I just felt like out in the plains of Africa, the grass would look different than it would for a snail. So that was my logic there. So all of these get the spritz treatment as well to give it that nice mottled look. I think it's super cute. And then I went in with each background, and I kind of picked some colors that coordinated with the little animal. So this one's going to end up being for that chicken. So I went with some red tones to kind of match that little waddle thing on the top of his head. I don't know what that's called. And then it gets the spritz treatment. And then the next one is going to be for the pig. Now this particular embossing folder, it always embosses so deep, and my paper ended up ripping while I was distressing it. Well, that's okay. I just went ahead and finished up. This is some worn lipstick. And then you'll see well, actually I don't show it on film, I apologize, but when I went ahead and created that card, I just stuck those really close together and it's so far in the background that you can't even tell on the finished card that was ripped. So it worked out well for this card, but that wouldn't work for all cards. So the last one was some brown tones to go with the lion, and then this one is going to be purple, and this is going to be with the snail. So I had fun playing with all my different embossing folders. I don't do dry embossing very often, and so it was kind of fun to bust out 5 different folders and see what I could create there. So every design gets a craft card base, and then I'm going to go ahead and first adhere the embossed background, and then put in this case the sea, but usually it's the sky, and then the ground on there. And then I have this little frame that I use the same pierced square dies to create just a white frame, and I thought that would just really kind of make things pop, and I thought that would be fun. So the sketch design had these 2 little banners on the side, so I decided to use some washi tape to create the 2 banners in mine, and I tried to use that arrow kind of coral washi tape in almost every one because that is actually from Create a Smile. And then I just used washi tapes that were in my stash to create these other banners. I just folded them in half so there was no more sticky, and then I cut little banner flags out of them. And then I decided to go ahead and use my tiny attacher to just staple those right onto the side of that frame rather than try to glue the really slick washi tape. So then I'll just put some glue on the back of that cute little frame and stick it in front of the scene. Everything's kind of cattywampus. That goes with the little sketch that was part of the design. And then the little critters go right on the top there, and I just adhere them straight on. I don't do any sort of popping up. I think there's enough elements going on this card that I didn't really need any of that. And then I'm going to go ahead and add some white splatter with my Picket Fence Distress Spray. And this card, I forgot to do it. It was kind of an afterthought. I was like, oh, that would look really cool on that craft base. So I just kind of take a piece of scrap paper and cover up the parts I don't want splattered. But on the rest of them, I'm smart enough to splatter my card base before I adhere anything down. And then just hit it with my heat tool so it dries so that I can put them together really quick. But for this one, I just went ahead and kind of blocked out where I didn't want the splatter, and it worked totally fine. I just got a little smarter on the next one and figured out a better way to do it, which is part of what's fun about making sets. You never know. You always come up with something a little bit better. So this is the last card that I'm putting together. It's that little pig. You can see that the background looks totally fine. It didn't even affect it at all. And then to add the sentiment, I'm going to use the This Must Be Love stamp set, also from Create a Smile. It's a whole bunch of love sentiments. It's super cute. And I did end up, and I apologize, my camera totally wonked out there. I ended up cutting one of the sentiments, the hugs, off of another one and adding it to the Sending You so that I got Sending You hugs. And I put that on each one. I added a cute little wood veneer circle with a heart in the middle, and then I colored each heart with a different Stardust sparkly Sakura Jelly Roll pen, and that is going to complete the cards. So I'm going to give you a nice look at each one of the different 5 cards. There's the little snail and the little lion, and I love that they're all kind of the same, but then they all kind of have their own personality because of the different kind of colors and the different scene. So I just think they're a sweet little card set. That was really, really fun to create. This stamp set is super, super fun. So thank you guys so much for watching. All the supplies are listed below and over at my blog. If you enjoyed this video, please hit subscribe and leave me a comment. Check out the description box below for more crafty inspiration and to join me on Facebook, Pinterest, and Instagram. Thanks, guys. Bye.